someone hacked into my phone and stole private photos from me and has created an online subscription. Within 4 hours, there are 2.6 thousand people following it. Each person had to pay to be in it. I guess that's cool. But at the same time, I didn't make it. And those are my photos, and I did not consent to it.
What a nightmare. Welcome back. You just heard from a young lady who is going through a nightmare. We've heard about cyber hacking before, but not this way, where they are starting paid sites with your personal photos.
Is this unusual that someone would hack into your phone and not only get your pictures, but set up a paid account where people would pay to see those photos of you? Now, the woman wasn't specific and said that they were nude, but that's the only way I can see the public paying to see pictures like this. How unusual is this case?
Well, the first part of the case, I don't think is very unusual. The fact that her smartphone got hacked at all and that photos were stolen from her phone. We saw this happen, actually a very high profile case a few years back with a lot of celebrities when iCloud got hacked, and Jennifer, I can't think of her last name right now, but the Jennifer Lawrence, and a lot of other very high profile celebrities had their nude pictures leaked on the dark web. So we have seen that happen before. What we haven't seen is the second part of this, where those pictures were then posted on an OnlyFans type of site and used to generate revenue. We've seen where, women that have seen given pictures to boyfriends have been victims of revenge porn, where the ex-boyfriend then posts the photo on some website in an attempt to shame and embarrass her. But we've never seen this specific case where somebody used those pictures to then create a whole new account in an attempt to generate revenue from those photographs. So that's pretty innovative. It's wrong, yeah, it is. But it's actually pretty innovative.
And if you do something like this, though, but aren't there protocols in place, ways to authenticate that this is a person who may be posting these photos, or at least you have their approval? I mean, they had to jump through a lot of hoops in order to get this done, and then set up some account where they're paid. Because the woman says she's getting thousands of followers.
Unfortunately, the barrier to entry for a website like this is fairly low, as it is with any sort of, revenge porn website. I would have to imagine that the person that did this knows this young woman, because you would have had to input some level of personal information to create the account. So I have to assume this person actually knows this woman personally, or is close enough to have the information that they could create the account with. But that is one of the biggest problems with the internet. There isn't any type of validation or verification done in a lot of cases to really vet that this is the person they say they are. I mean, all of social media is basically, that type of situation where anybody could be using these accounts for any reason, and you never really know who the face is on the other side of the screen.
And of course, there's a possibility someone could steal your nude photos or whatever risque photos that you may have and give you a new name, but use your photos as well. And that way they can use their information in order to receive payment.
Absolutely. It's very, very easy to, download photos from a social media platform. If you have, somehow hacked into someone's phone, it is way too easy. It's incredibly easy, unsettlingly easy, actually, to do this type of thing. All that person would need was the photographs. And then at that point, you could literally create any sort of account on any platform. There is no sort of photo verification, if you will, where maybe you have to send a recent selfie in to show that this is actually you in these photographs. So there really isn't any protection in place for people when something like this happens, unfortunately.
And of course, not to blame the victim here, but that's why you're always told not to keep nude photos if we're talking about nude photos in this particular case, but not to keep nude photos of yourself on your phone.
It's true, you know, again, like you said, we don't want to shame anybody. I know this is kind of sort of the way that people communicate these days, and this is the way that they engage in relationships and outside of relationships. And so it's a thing, but you do have to be aware that the fact that that content exists on your device makes you vulnerable. It makes you very, very vulnerable to a hack. So something similar, because there are two ways that people can be hacked, if you will. One is if a major company or platform gets hacked and your information gets leaked that way. So in the case of
That's
the
like
iCloud hack, yeah, they got those photos when they hacked the entire iCloud platform. You know, same with banks. If a bank gets hacked and now they have your social security number or your other personally identifying information. So there's that. But then other than that, usually a hack happens because of something that we do, unfortunately, or something that we don't do, unfortunately. So, you know, those larger, more enterprise level hacks don't happen that often. It's typically that, you know, we clicked on a link we didn't verify, or, you know, we didn't have appropriate, you know, password strength and two-factor authentication set up, or, you know, we left our phone out of our, you know, physical presence for a time and someone else had access to the phone itself. So, you know, a lot of these things, you know, I hate to, again, blame the victim, but in most of the cases of hacking, it is usually the user's, something that the user did or failed to do that left them vulnerable to the hack.
And once again, we want to remind the viewers, we're not blaming the victim here.
Not at
If
all.
you want to keep nude photos on your phone of you, that's up to you. You just need to be safe about it. Stephanie, thank you for joining us tonight here on The Factor Uncensored.